Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Turn this off. We'll give it a few minutes. As you know, this is going to be my second live. So it will be saved on my channel, but it'll also be uploaded on YouTube. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I have been told that so many people don't have Instagram. So I have been able to download the videos and upload them to YouTube. So if you have family and friends that are interested in a live and want to watch them, let them know that they're on my YouTube channel, and that link is in my bio. So we'll give it a few more minutes. I know this was a really popular one, so thank you guys for all that support. Just give it a few more minutes before we begin, and hopefully Sarah will join us then. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thanks for joining. Sometimes you have to play around with the live. Okay. Just give it a few more minutes. Assalamu alaikum. Salams, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're just going to give it a few more minutes before we begin. Salam, Zara. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, I got a request to pull a Nitma card. So as you know, we are selling these Nitma decks. Also a good activity actually to do during the holy month of Ramadan. Thanks, Janli. Welcome. So I'm going to pull a Nitma deck while we wait. Assalamu alaikum, Janli Babi. Hope you're well. This is like a great activity. I'm just going to start. This is a great activity because I feel like you can reflect and you can have a good discussion with your spouse or your family or even your kids. So I'm just going to pull one out. We'll go through it. Alright, so I got Surah Duha, which is by the morning brightness and by the night when it covers with darkness, your Lord has never left you. So this is really beautiful because it's the name of Allah is As-Sabur, which is the patient. So the one who recites this several times will be rescued from any difficulty. So it's quite beautiful. I guess I'm going to put this out today. Alright, salams everyone. I think we can start now. Assalamu alaikum. Hey, Salam. How are you?
Good, Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Good, good. How's everything going? How's Ramadan so far?
All good, Alhamdulillah. How are yours?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You guys are still like the mosque is closed and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, we're missing it.
Oh man. Yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, I think we can start now if you'd like.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah. All right. So firstly, thanks everyone for joining in. We're all really excited to do this. This was one of the most hit post that I've made actually. I think everyone's really interested in the activity and also just to dive in on how to make Ramadan like really special. And I know it's just we're like what 10, 12 days in. And so people are still trying to figure out things that they can do at home and how we can bring the blessings of this month in our houses, especially during the pandemic, especially during COVID. So before we dive right into like activities and ideas, I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about your passion and how you got started, because it seems like you've been really great in showing all these different activities with your kids and your family. So what made you want to like do this type of thing? What like kind of like inspired you?
So, I honestly like it wasn't really inspiration, it was more like necessity. So, because of
Mhm.
COVID, like obviously all the schools were closed, and I was
Right.
working from home at the time. My son was home, he was 2.5, and he wasn't in Montessori anymore. So,
Right.
I needed to figure out a way to occupy him. So, first, it started off as just like trying to keep him busy while I was working. So
Yeah.
I create activities, and I'm a very like scheduled person. So I just had like a schedule. Then I started doing like a weekly schedule and pre-planning some activities for him to do to keep him busy, not necessarily to like teach him.
Right.
And then later on, and I kind of figured he'd go back to school. I was pregnant at the time too. So in
Hmm.
September, I was due with my daughter, so I thought he'd go back to school by then. But we just made the decision that we'll just keep him home because of the COVID
Right.
situation. So
Yeah.
we kept him home, and then I started properly homeschooling like last September, with
Hmm.
actual goals and things like that in mind. So I started to do that, and that worked kind of well for the first couple of months, where I basically was taking more of a kind of a preschool approach. I don't know if you know the differences, but it was
Yeah.
it was a lot of like unit study focus, and it was just a lot of work for me, and it kind of worked
Hmm.
when my daughter was like just like a little baby, a
Yeah.
newborn. But then afterwards I started to feel really burnt out when she stopped sleeping very well and all that kind of stuff. So by
Right.
November I just reached out to a Montessori teacher that I know, and
Hmm.
I said, you know what, like my son was in Montessori before. I'm feeling really burnt out. Can you just help me to somehow like figure out what to do here? And
Yeah.
then she basically helped me to like simplify my entire approach to homeschooling.
Hmm.
And that worked really well. Like I really liked the Montessori approach because it just like it aligns with our just our family, I guess, in terms of like the pace that we want to go at. And also, I think it
Hmm.
aligns with Islam too, in terms of respecting the environment, respecting and following the child, all of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff as well. So we did that. And in terms of Islamic activities, I did start doing that earlier, like even before COVID, because I had
Right.
sent my son to a Montessori school, but it was not an Islamic school, it was a secular school. So I wanted to
Hmm.
like bring something at home too, so that he could actually learn about like our religion and stuff like that as well from home in a way that he would understand at that age. So I started just doing activities and like that as well, just Islamic ones, and then I branched out to this now.
Yeah. So how did you combine the two, like Montessori teaching with Islamic? Like, how did you do that?
I think it was it just kind of flowed together, I guess. It was pretty easy. It's just with Montessori, it's not a particular curriculum. It's more just like, it's, I guess, a set of principles. So if you're kind of doing those principles and like completing it, and you're
Hmm.
setting the right environment and all of that kind of stuff, and you're doing like the basic core elements, like then you can incorporate Islam into everything if you really
Right.
want to. And to be
Absolutely.
honest, like a lot of it is to do with nature and to do with like just our environment and what's around. So like even in like
Mhm.
wintertime, we do kind of winter or discussions, polar animals, whatever. In fall time, we go outside for nature walks. Same with spring. So like it just comes up naturally in the conversation that
Yeah.
this is all of this is from Allah, and like
Mhm.
you know, and even within the Quran and stuff like that, there's just so much of nature that is in the Quran as well. Science, there's so many just different things that you can really choose from there, pick and choose. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm learning every day. Like I didn't know as much about the Quran as I do now before I started to homeschool my
Right.
son.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you find that like even before kids, it was so important to have that kind of dialogue with your spouse as well? Like just
Yeah.
like Islamic talks and like, what's going on and even Quranic, like, topics. Was that important for you guys?
Yeah, it was. So like we would study tafsir and stuff together. We don't do that as
Mhm.
much anymore, to be honest,
Yeah,
with kids. But that used to be
yeah,
our thing during Ramadan. Used to pick a surah and then we used to go through it with like meaning and tafsir as well, discuss it and all of that every night. And we
yes.
don't do that anymore. But yeah,
Yeah.
like this is basically what we do now with our kids.
Yeah. I think that's really important to, keep in mind is that, before you even have children or you start a family, like it's really important to start with your spouse as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Irfan and I do that all the time. Like we joined like programs and we do tafsir classes together and we just
Yeah,
talk about things like on a regular basis. It's part of the conversation. And I
yes.
think then it just kind of stems through with children as well. If you've already started that conversation with your spouse, it's so much more easier to talk about it with the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, because then
Then
you
it's
don't have
just
to fake
part of
it.
the
It's just
discussion.
natural. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So that's really great. And I'm really happy to see the passion that you provide on social media because I think it's really like it's really become a topic of discussion of just Islamic teaching and just
Yeah.
creating that environment at home. So is there anything in particular during the holy month of Ramadan that you do to spark joy at home?
So I do a little bit of decoration and stuff for my son, but
Yeah.
just like this calendar behind me, this it's like a good deeds calendar, so he does a good deed every day, then he gets like a little treat. That's
Oh,
just for
nice.
fun. But in terms of like the other stuff, I have his like Islamic books out, and we do like in Ramadan right now we're doing something from the Quran every week. I'm trying to keep it science based because
Mhm.
he's really into science and experiments and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that's basically what we've done. Like so far, we've done the moon phases and we've done the mountains in the
Mhm.
Quran, and so it was really interesting for me too to learn about that. But
Yeah.
I honestly like I think what was really important for us is that we prepped beforehand. I prepped my son
Mhm.
beforehand. He's 3.5, so in terms of like understanding timelines and stuff like that, I told him a little bit beforehand. Actually, like in Rajab is when we started prepping for Ramadan. And I
Right.
spoke to him about what it's
Wow, I
coming
love that
up.
actually.
Yeah, so I spoke
Yeah.
to him about that it's coming up and just getting him aware of the month and excited for it, and also just aware of what we're going to be doing slightly differently. We might have a different schedule in Ramadan and things like that. I might spend more time like having him sit with me and read Quran. Not that he can read Quran, but just so that like he's
Just,
just with me, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And like just memorizing some small surahs and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was really excited for it, so that when the time came, he wasn't like, what's all this like all of a sudden, like every
All
single
the
day we're doing
compulsion
this.
at home.
Yeah. So
Right.
so he was every day since Rajab, he's been asking me like when Ramadan is. So it was really
That's
nice.
so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so important. And just even like, those people who don't have children, like just having that discussion beforehand. Like that's why
Yeah.
Rajab and Ramadan are there, right? It's
Yeah,
just
for
to get
sure.
that discussion going
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that we can get the benefits of this holy month. And I think, even though it's been 12 days, I feel like 12 days flew by. And it's
definitely.
so important to constantly, just remind ourselves that we're still in this month. There's so much to do. There's so much to learn.
Yeah,
And whether you have children or not, it's just something that you need to have a conversation about
yeah.
daily.
I think
Things
it's
to
important
constantly
even for us, like before Rajab to prep. So I did that it too, because I had like specific goals as to how much Quran I wanted to recite, for example.
yeah.
Or even just
Hmm.
like making sure my salah is better, like in concentration and like the being timely and all of that. So I started
Right.
that during Rajab as well, really being mindful of this, so that when
Hmm.
it comes to Ramadan, because Ramadan just gets busy as well, and iftar and this and that, you
Yeah.
know. So then I just
Yeah.
wanted to already like form certain habits so that I can continue during Ramadan, and like kind of that's what we're going with in Ramadan. So
Yes.
I think for us it's important too to just kind of prep ourselves.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So tell me, what are some activities or some things that you guys currently do, and then maybe you can just dive right into the activity.
Okay. So I've created a few different activities. I create like these printable kind of worksheet type things. Not exactly
Hmm.
worksheets, they're more like activities where you cut and paste or play or whatever it is, puzzles and things. So I have that all on my website. If you want to go to, if anybody wants to go to my website afterwards, it's on my,
Yeah.
it's a link in my bio. So I have some for Ramadan on moon phases. And then I have some printable like this Ramadan silhouette shadow matching type game. So I do th
Hmm.
we do things like that. And I actually purchased something from It's a company called Eastern Toy Box, and it has like 20 Ramadan activities, and has like little
Mhm.
games and stuff like that too. So I just did that as just to kind of help me out, trying to like not to have to pre-plan every single game every day.
Yes.
So that's what we've been using that as well, and it's really nice. There's a lot of
Nice.
Muslim businesses nowadays, and you can get a lot of
Oh
nice
yeah,
things there.
tons of things out there, like for
Yeah,
everybody, all ages, really.
yeah,
So many different activities that you can do, and journals and things that you can do to reflect during this holy month for children and for adults. So that's amazing. Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. All right. So do you want to go ahead and show us your activity?
Sure. So I created this game. First of all, do you know the game Spot It or Dobble? It's the
I
same
think
one,
you had, yeah, we
right?
talked about this. Yes, I did
So
tap into that. Yeah.
basically, it's the Spot It and Dobble is the same game. It's Spot It in the
Mhm.
US and Dobble in the UK.
Mhm.
I played it a few years ago when I was in the UK, and it was really fun. It's like a family-friendly activity where you spot, like you have to basically spot the same symbol. So I'll show you what I created. It's like a Ramadan version of Dobble over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it has like the
You want
symbols.
to put, yeah, put it
Yeah,
to
let
the
me put it
ones.
up big. So like the symbols are a bit more like kind of Islamic. Well, then there's the random samosa and things like that here and there too
Yeah.
for effect. But yeah, so I it's a deck of 26 cards and it's a printable. I printed it and then I laminated it so that it's just like it'll last me.
Yeah.
And basically I'll show you how to play. Let me just try and move down the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you see that properly?
Kind of, if you can maybe tap on your screen so that it zooms, like it's a little bit more focused. Does that
Um,
help?
does that help?
Kind of doesn't,
No?
kind of doesn't.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll show you quickly, but then I'm also going to
No
post a
problem.
reel.
Social media. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like there's different ways to play this game, but how I like to play it is you get like your players, doesn't matter how many. Let's
Yeah.
just say there's two players.
Mm-hmm.
And then face down. This is like the deck in the middle. I face that
Mm-hmm.
down. So both of us have a card each, and
Yeah.
you're looking in this like basically I flip over this card, and then
Mm-hmm.
each of us we need to try and match it with this pile over here,
Got it.
with this card over here. And
Mhm.
every card has just one thing in common with the other. So for example, like this one, these two cards have like the perfume in common. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whereas these two are the camel. So
Yeah.
whoever gets it first, like let's just say this person got like saw the camel before this one saw the perfume bottle, then they get both the cards, and then we flip,
Got it.
and then you kind of continue, and then the person with the most cards at the end, once this whole pile is gone, is the winner.
Oh, very nice. So
Yeah,
it's like you made it like an Islamic thing with different activities that, no,
yeah,
sorry, different like,
symbols.
pictures
Yeah.
of, yeah, symbols and stuff. Okay. Okay. Great. Great.
So this one
Yeah.
is actually going to be published in about 10 minutes. So after this live, you can
Awesome.
go and get it. But it's a pre-printable, so just print it, laminate it if you can, or print it on cardstock and then cut it out,
Hmm.
and then you have your
Hmm.
deck ready to go.
Awesome. That's really great. Thank you so much for
No
doing
problem.
that. I think that's really great. I think that's even a lot of fun with just adults too, I
Yeah,
feel.
I played with my husband last night. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would totally do that too. I love that. So, along with that type of activity, what are some things that you would recommend, or maybe like we could suggest to everybody, like as a family, to do different activities during the holy month?
So
Um, yeah,
So in terms of just Ramadan and just like getting the benefits of this month because of our rewards are so much more multiplied during this month.
yeah.
It's really important for us to like do something to do with charity. And there's so
Mm-hmm,
many different things that you can do.
mm-hmm.
So one of them is we like having a sadhka jar. So
Yeah.
like having like even having the kids involved, decorating, whatever. I like having my son kind of take ownership of that. We have our own sadka jar between me and my husband, and that money is going to go to Yemen. That's like our own cause. And then my son, I told him I gave him some choices because he's only three
Mm-hmm.
and a half, so his world is very small, obviously. So
Right.
I just gave him some choices as to where he wanted to donate to. With his sadka money, and like he wanted to do it to like some wildlife foundation. So
Yeah.
that was actually his own choice. So I need to research that myself. But just kind
Right.
of setting that as like we're going to be donating it every day to it every day in Ramadan, and then on Eid day, like we are going to donate the money because a lot of times
Mhm.
like we have these sadka jars or boxes at home, and then it's in a drawer, and then you just keep adding to it, and you're like, what are we supposed to do with this, and where are we going to drop all
Right.
this change? So
Yeah.
like this is basically in a common area where the coins are nearby in a cubby or a drawer or whatever, so that all you have to do is drop it in, and then at the end of the month, then we just donate it online really quickly, like just, count it, donate it, and then it resets. Then we have all that change again for like another cause for Sadhka, and then that doesn't get touched for personal use at all. So
Yeah.
that's really I really like that as like a reminder of and just having those conversations about people who are like less fortunate than us as well. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that idea. And that's something that you can do even after Ramadan too.
definitely,
Like
yeah.
just having that and kind of keeping that like as an Islamic goal, I guess you could say for every Islamic month,
Yeah.
you think about it and you donate to a charitable trust. So that's amazing. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And like for me, one of the things that Irfan and I did this Ramadan was create like gift baskets.
Hmm.
And those gift baskets were like, we tried to make it more Islamic. So we added all like the recommended foods and like things that we want like to, incorporate in our daily life. So like we added like figs and olives and all kinds of stuff. And we packed it up really nicely and we gave it out to family.
Yeah.
So that's a great like activity, just like gift baskets or Ramadan baskets to like neighbors.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
you know, just
With
to
like
kind of like
handwritten
drop
letters.
it off. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, we can get creative with it. I saw so many ideas online, like, you could do like a themed basket where you do like a breakfast basket or you do like
Yeah.
a sunshine basket, and it was all things that make people happy. And I thought that was so cute.
That is
Like,
nice.
that's definitely something you can do in Ramadan where you can just
Yeah.
hand those out to neighbors and, drop it off. It'll like put a smile on someone's face, and what a better reward than just getting that satisfaction from like,
Yeah.
your family and friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And
Yeah.
then there's also a couple Ramadans ago, when my son was just 1 years old, we did toys for sick kids, like for sick kids
Hmm.
hospital. And so we contacted them. They gave us like a list of recommended items that they needed.
Right.
Because we were just going to drop off kind of like Eid gifts, but they actually wanted specific toys for
Yeah.
people who have just gotten out of major surgeries. For kids,
Right.
I mean. So we just ordered everything on Amazon. We packed everything up. My son was there. He was with us. It was really nice, and my husband went to drop it off. So that was really really nice to do. But unfortunately, over here, I don't know about everywhere, but here in Toronto, we can't do that anymore. I just
Mhm.
looked it up to see if we can do it again, but it's not possible with COVID. They're only taking monetary donations. But
Oh,
I mean, you
wow.
can check in your area with your hospitals to see
Yes.
if they're actually taking toy donations, and it's a really nice way to get the kids involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So for everyone who's joining, like we're gonna have a post on this of all the different activities that you can do during the holy month. Save it, pin it, share it. I think we put up at least 5 different activities you could do with family. So definitely something that I will post right after this live today. So my last thing that I really wanted to talk about is, post Ramadan. I mean, right now the spirits are high. We're really excited about this holy month. We're all looking forward to Eid. Like there's just so much going on. So that spirit is already there. How would you recommend to kind of continue this and bring this joy continuously in everyday life?
So one of the things we did in the beginning of Ramadan, like the night before Ramadan, was to come up with 3 goals each, me, my husband, and my son, to come up with 3 goals as to what we want to do in Ramadan. And so in Ramadan, we want to, let's just say, like for myself, improve concentration in prayer, for example, to read Quran a specific amount of times a day, all of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. And there's nothing stopping me after Ramadan from continuing those goals. And like same thing with my son, like even memorizing certain surahs, whatever his goals were. It's something that we can continue with practice after Ramadan. So when we have goals for Ramadan, it's not just something we want to accomplish in Ramadan and then forget it until next Ramadan. It's something we want to continue throughout the year.
Yeah,
Something that we can, a positive change we're making during Ramadan, and then next Ramadan, inshallah, we'll already have that down, and then we have 3 new goals. So
I
that's
love
kind
that.
of one of the biggest things for us.
Yeah, so just continuing those goals all year round is definitely important. And even like for myself, I think one of the things is that you know, with Laylatul Qadr coming up, I mean, that's also a perfect time to create those goals too, right?
Hmm.
So you can have like a discussion with your spouse or just with yourself and just reflect on ways you can continue this pattern. I mean, right now, like alhamdulillah, I've had the opportunity to constantly recite the Holy Quran. So I really want to make this like something I do every single month. It just doesn't stop at Ramadan. So
Yeah.
those types of things, I think it's really important because it helps us not only connect with God, but just makes us like really ground ourselves. And with everything that's going on in the pandemic, like I think we really need to figure out ways to just relax, you know, be calm and like still enjoy every single day. I know it's really tough, especially Canadians. You guys are like stuck in like the lockdown still,
Yeah.
but it's still difficult. Even like right now, it's pretty difficult, regardless of the vaccine or not. So just something to think about to continue this joy throughout the year.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And then even like the environment we create in our house during Ramadan, to
Mm-hmm.
make things easier, to make it easy that we read Quran all the like every day, put it in a
Yeah.
place we see it, or like, when you're sitting on your prayer mat, like keep the Quran right nearby so it's right there, and just
Yeah.
make things easier for yourself. And we do that anyways in Ramadan. And so there's no reason
Right.
to like move things back to the way they were before Ramadan. Like just keep things the way
Yeah.
they are, and like just make everything easily accessible so all these good habits you can continue them
Yeah.
throughout.
Absolutely. If it's in front of you, you're not going to forget about it.
Hmm.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, so awesome. So I'm going to leave the floor out for anyone who wants to ask any questions. Again, did you want to show really quickly your activity one more time, just to
Yeah,
so everyone can kind of see what it is again in
sure.
case they missed it? And
So
there's a
this
few
is
people joining in.
like this is the Ramadan Spot It with
Yep.
just different symbols. So each card has six different symbols, and they're kind of related to Ramadan. And they
Mm-hmm.
all have six different symbols. Each card has only one symbol in common with any of the other cards. And there's a few different ways to play this. We played it with the two players and then the deck in the middle, where
Mm-hmm.
both players needed to spot the symbol
Mm-hmm.
that they have in common with the deck in the middle and grab that card. Whoever's the fastest grabs that card, and then
Yep.
the person with the most cards at the end is the winner.
Yep.
So, and that one's going to be
Awesome.
available right now on my website right after the live, and it'll be a free downloadable, so you can print it and play it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I will also post the 5 different activities you can do during the holy month of Ramadan, even after Ramadan. So definitely watch out for that. And thank you so much, Sarah, for joining me.
Thanks for
I
having me.
know, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And inshallah, if anyone has any questions, reach out to us and definitely check her link in the bio for the activity. So yeah. All right. Well, take care of
You
yourself.
too.
Inshallah, this holy month is really well for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, take care.
You too. Bye.
All right. That